Worthy of all the honor. Amen. We'll go right into it. What Father gave me and read a couple verses real quick. It's dealing on the line of this being done. We talked about, laying hands suddenly on no one. We talked about false prophets. We talked about being led astray. And that's basically what I'm going to talk about here real quick. Set my phone so I know when my time is up. 1 second, please. Woo!
I'll get it for you now. Is it?
Yes. Yeah, let's do this. Over here in Ezekiel, Ezekiel 8th chapter. We'll probably get into it more and more. I'm going to read a couple of verses in the School of Revelation, and real quick. Let's start at verse 12, I think. I'm not sure. Verse 12 is Ezekiel 8 and 12. I'm going to read it. Get to what I want to get to. It says, Then said he unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark, every man in the chambers of his imagery? For they say, The Lord seeth us not, and the Lord has forsaken the earth. He said also unto me, Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see the great abominations in that do. Then he brought me to the door of the gate of the Lord's house, which was toward the north, and behold, there sat the women weeping for Tammuz. Then said he unto me, Hast thou seen this, O son of man? Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abomination in these. And he brought me into the inner court of the Lord's house, and behold, the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 women, with their backs toward the temple of the Lord, and their faces toward the east, and they worshiped the sun toward the east. Then he said unto me, Hast thou seen this, O son of man? Is it a like thing that the house of Judah, that they commit these abominations which they commit here? For they have filled the land with violence, and they have returned to provoke me to anger, and lo, they put the branch to their nose. Therefore will I also deal in my fury. Mine eyes shall not separate, and my eyes shall not spare, neither will I have pity. And though they cry in my ears with a loud voice, yet will I not hear them. Okay, that took too long to read. Anyway, what we got going on here? Fathers, there is this spirit that's loose in here. So there's a spirit loose.
There's a spirit loose.
Revelation talks about it better, but we'll get there. It talks about this Jezebel spirit and this feminine spirit. And it's more of a demon, I would say, but it's captivating mindsets of women and men using seductive trickery. And it's loose in here. Some of us are being led by the Spirit and don't even realize it. One thing that happens every time you enter into a form of rebellion, you attract spirits like garbage attract flies. It flies in and comes in and takes control of every aspect of your life. And then see every aspect of your life is tainted and dirty and nasty, and it is because you touched it. And it says here that first he tells them to look at the priests or whatever, what they're doing in their bedroom or their bed chambers and the imagery. Basically, they had pagan gods up in there and they was worshiping and whatnot. But the Father spoke to me, he was saying that's like the computer in our room. We act as if the Father don't see what we're doing on the computer. We have all these different things going out and all these different people are seeing it, but we act like y'all don't see the full frontal of what's going on. He's like he's ignorant, it's crazy, and we sit there and we do it, and people tell us it's okay, or people leave us on, or people keep beguiling us to do these things. And like I said, here I've taught you guys on how to discern, and you've been learning that for a while. And what we try to do, we try to override it with a flood of thoughts of our own self, thinking that these things are okay, and they're not. Anything that's addictive that got you hooked, that seduced you, it is not okay to continue to do. Are you listening to me?
Yeah.
And it goes on, and so in your room when ain't nobody looking, the thing that you don't want nobody to know about, the thing that happens that and you enjoy it, but you just act like you're not gonna look over it. He's not gonna look over it. And there's going to be a flat out judgment against this nation and against individuals who continue to live in a lifestyle that they think that they can have two gods, that they think they can have two masters. And it's going to be amazing the things that happen. Now, everybody has messed up and sinned. And I'm not talking about when you get up and you ask for forgiveness. I'm talking about when you choose to live there. And you choose to live there, and not only live there, but you spread it around as if it's some sort of truth. It goes on. Now, this is the feminine seductive spirit. Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
It goes on. Are you getting somebody this?
Oh, yeah.
Then say he brought me to the door. That's what it says. The turning game must see greater abomination than they do. To y'all, just so you know, to y'all he called them abominations. Abomination to y'all is something that's sickening. It's sickening. I mean, to me, a sickening thing would be if I spent all my time, and I have done this with people, spent time praying, and I don't care about the praying, and energy, and working with them, and teaching them, and showing them things, and that didn't bother me. But then to go out and say that I am teaching a cult, or teaching false doctrines, and I'm a false prophet, as the song says. And after I just blessed them with tremendous stuff, and when I asked them to show me what are you talking about, where is this false teaching that you went around and told everybody? No, I don't want to talk about it. You are talking about it, you're just not talking about it to me.
Yeah.
Hey, damn y'all. That was a sickening act to me. When you was down and out and had nowhere to go, when you was crying, when you needed a ride, when you needed things, you was there. Mr. McCall was there. Mr. McCall helped you. You even almost got in trouble with my wife for helping. And now, what do? You lie. For no reason. I don't know why you lied. So I don't know why you spread it. I really didn't care. I thought you was genuine. Yeah. But I'm saying that's how y'all feels when we do these things that we know better. Things that, hey, it shouldn't even be on our radar anymore.
Yeah.
But we choose to keep it. Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
There's a feminine spirit. That spirit, the female, has came around and began to teach you other things that you think is okay, but it's witchcraft. It's manipulation. I've used this example 1,000 times. You know what I'm saying? 1,000, but an unmarried woman or a woman who's been divorced several thousand times wants to come and teach you how to keep your man using techniques, saying I ain't never been without a man, I just want to be married.
Boy.
And they come into your life with voodoo and witchcraft. And you begin to use trickery. And y'all ain't never been no Loki. He's straight up and down. Are you listening?
Yes, sir. I'm listening.
Can I tell you what y'all said?
Yes, sir, please.
He brought me to the inner court. He saw a door. He saw these men. They was crying. Well, they was worshiping the sun. These men were worshiping the sun. The women was worshiping Tammuz. And we know Tammuz. And I'm going to tell you what they was doing. I mean, listen to me.
Yes,
But for us, we know Tammuz. We know what he was all about. And we know that he had his private area cut off. And here we see what they say these women were doing. They were in the north and they sat there weeping for Tammuz, saying he couldn't have no babies or whatnot. And what they were saying is the men have lost their masculinity. There are no real men. The women, the men have lost their masculinity. Are you listening to me?
Yeah.
They're weeping for Tammuz. They have no leadership. They want to be told what to do, but that spirit that came in, they figured they could tell the men what to do. Are you listening to me?
Yes.
Tammuz here represent the church. We know that the church is in sun worship. Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
These are what the ancient is doing. And the Father showed me this is what we're doing.
Wow.
Men won't be men. Men won't listen to men. They listen to women because they're being seduced.
Wow.
Right here in this house.
Wow.
I heard one man say, you're not anointed because of your education. You're not anointed because of this and that. You're anointed because God anointed you. I try to explain to the people, I'm not a leader because I just took a straw poll. Y'all put me here.
Yeah.
And this is not about me. This is about you. This is about doing the right thing. This is about not being led by this seductive spirit. If it hadn't got to you, it's going to come at you.
Yeah.
And it's going to try to get you to betray the thing that you know. Are you listening to me?
Yeah.
Leave that alone. 17 talks about Judah, the house of Judah. Then he said unto me, hast thou seen this, O son of man? It is a light thing to the house of Judah that they commit abomination which they commit here. For they have filled the land with violence and have returned to provoke anger, and lo, put the branch to their nose. House of Judah. Judah represents praise. Praise represents music. Music represents this new thing going around. We know that hip-hop, we already had a whole subject going, was all about what? Rebellion. It's a light thing for the ministers of the so-called gospel, where we get our music from now. It's a light thing for them to hook up with pagan worship. Idol worshipers. It don't even bother them no more. It don't bother you no more. See, I never go and get, ever since the Father gave that message, I never go and get another one, another song that's hooked up with people that are unsaved. I never. The old music he told me, and I told you at the time, he says, okay, you can listen to that, it brought you out, your mindset was different. Are you listening to me?
Oh, yeah.
But all these songs come out and people look at it. It's not okay. We see it, and that's why he showed it to me. We see all these people making these signs and doing all this stuff, and that's why I had so many questions for the Father. And he was telling me, hey, it's about what is being said for you and I. When we say our God is awesome, we're not being led by Canton Jones or anybody else. We're seeking the Father for ourselves. Are you listening to me? The problem is when you have an unsaved person leading you into worship, they're taking you to a place that you don't want to go. Oh, how much time do I got left? I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you to understand what is happening to you. Why are you being seduced? Why are you letting this happen to you? You ought to be listening to the word. You got so much word, so many tools, and you don't use none of it. So here you man, yeah, I don't even know who listens or who what, but you know, it costs us to do that. And I ain't talking about money wise. I'm talking about else a lot of work, a lot of effort. I'm not looking for no big crowd, but I just don't understand how a person goes so long without their leader being present, and then when the leader gets back, nowhere to be found. I don't understand how you can have a job or something given to you by God, and whether I'm here or anybody else is here or not, and you don't do it to the best of your abilities. But you want y'all to clean this house. I'm trying to help you. I ain't trying to fuss. If I was trying to fuss, I could just call names out of stuff. But this is what the Spirit spoke to me even before I got here. This was like 5 days in the making, and in the hospital room talking to me about things like this. And I'm trying to squish it little in 15 minutes. Somebody said 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Revelation. Somebody said Revelation.
Revelation.
Revelation is the second chapter. We get everything to sing for it. Yep. Whoop, there it go.
Wow.
That was a quick one. Well, I guess we can't get Revelation then.
Woo.
You have been taught, you have been trained on using your discernment. Now I want you to ask yourself, how much word did I listen to? How much word did I took upon myself to read and study, to listen, and to apply? What have I been doing with my time? Who have I trained and taught, if any, if I'm there to do that? Have my light been shining, or have I been shining like a fool? Ask yourself that question. When you look at when you say your commandments and you get to the part that says that Yah has laid up sound wisdom for the righteous, do you look yourself in the eye and you say that Yah has laid up sound wisdom for the righteous, and here's a buckler to them that walk uprightly? Do you look at yourself and are you walking uprightly? Are you living at a level that Yah said, yes, I have made her righteous? Or are you tripping? Him or her, I'm saying her because most of the females, but him or her. Or are you tripping? Are you dipping? Are you sliding? Are you falling after some idiot? Presence of my Father. What are you doing? What are you doing? Party time? The house is burning down. This country is in straight trouble. I know if you got any kind of eyes, you can see it. If you got any kind of spiritual, biblical, any kind of knowledge of end times, it's right, broad. It's like screaming at you. It's like screaming. What are you doing? You're suffocating yourself. doing wrong, all for the sake of doing wrong. What fool have you let back into your life? Fool is someone who denies what is right, knowing that it is right. That's the definition for fool today. That's what I mean by fool. Knowing something is right, but doing wrong anyway. And you let it back in your life to fall out of dumbness. When my dad, when we became best friends, I used to just sit at his feet. I'm saying sit at his feet, but I used to just come sit and listen to him talk about nothing. And in that nothing, I learned something. Always respect him. My sister can tell you I never publicly disrespected my parents. Never. Ever. And even behind closed doors, rarely that happened. I always did. Why? Because it was the right thing to do no matter who's looking. I'm telling this to you because I want you to know it can be done. Stop thinking it can't be done. Stop following after this seductive spirit. It is not okay. They look at themselves in the mirror and they weep because they wish they would have done right. You have been trained for years on how to spot the enemy. Don't tell me you can't see that joker coming. Don't tell me you can't look at a television set, hear a music, look at a picture or read a magazine and not see that this is evil. Not saying that your father would not be pleased with this. Even naturally, my kids know they're going to get something. They better not bring home no race car if they're getting something for me. And they go, we got to go to the superhero department. Oh, Dad, we want to treat him or something. We got to go to the crafts department. They treated me and they're so good on our anniversary and they know what we like. You know what your father like? What are you doing? This broadcast has been brought to you by your tithe and free will offering. Amen. I was talking to someone the other day in the ministry. I ain't saying no name, this is one, but I started talking and I told him about the chord, and I was preaching. Before I even finished the message, I finished shutting down. He said the chord's on the way. I said, wow. And he told me, he said, yeah, when I got you that first one, you replaced it, and I went and got two more because I figured you might need, the ministry might need one.
Wow.
Huh? That's walking in the office.
Yep. Amen.
See, I'm talking to you like this on this level. Why? Because you're ready. You're beyond color. And don't act like you don't know when that spirit come around again, because it's coming. Stop negotiating with it. Stop talking to it. Stop making it feel it's okay to even come in your presence. It says, submit thyself unto Yah, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. What we say it every morning. It's an abomination to Yah. And they put the plant up to the nose. Why? Because they've seen other people do it. When they worship their other God, they put the plant to their nose. So here go the Hebrew, they put the plant to our nose and go worship Yah. That would be like my wife going to kiss somebody else and they come trying to kiss me this newfound way. What is this? We've been together for 100 years. Don't try to act like I ain't kissed you every kind of way as possible. You ain't just decided to do that. And if so, what you been practicing on? It's disgusting to y'all. It's disgusting. It's nasty. He don't like it, period. He don't play around with it. He don't act like he like it. He don't sit around try to put some sugar on it. He don't like it. It's nasty. Get away from me. I mean, this girl tried to seduce me, Brother MT. This is no lie. She had me pinned in a no-win situation. But you know how I won, Elder? Because I went to Sunday school, right?
Yeah.
And in Sunday school, they told me this kid was getting raped, and he ran.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting raped. And I ran.
Yeah.
I didn't stop till I got home.
Yeah.
And I came in the house, everybody looking at me like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And it was just so embarrassing, so I went in the room, started laughing. Where did I learn it? In service. Sunday school, service. Applied it, and guess what? It worked.
Yes.
I didn't sit around and negotiate.
No. What?
I didn't say I'll be back.
Mm-mm.
I took off and didn't stop till I got home. And that's the problem. Lot's wife, you look it back.
Oh.
I am not 18. I ain't trying to act like I'm 18. I'm doing this rap thing. I'm trying to do it. Why? Because God told me to.
Amen.
I don't have to rap. But God told me to, and I did. I ain't trying to relive my glory days. I'm not having a midlife crisis. I'm trying to let my wife let me preach.
Amen.
Controlling spirit. I hope you heard what I said.
Yes, sir.
I hope you got something out of it.
Yes, sir, I did.
I hope you start listening to the words. You can go back to the end of the messages. End of the messages, and they'll change your life. I'm not lying. I just pick a message and just listen to it and be like, wow. Because I'm speaking to you. A lot of people don't have this. A personal, every 2 times a week, 3 times a week, sometimes 4 times a week, message from y'all. Personal stuff that applies just for you. That when you listen to it 2 years from now, it's still going to apply to you. I almost dropped the mic. Elvis had enough to do. I'm finished. Oh, man. Come get a Father hand type of praise. Every day this week, listen to a word. You ain't got to listen to the whole thing, but you get some word in you. You go back and pick a message, and you listen to it. Every day this week. You get built up. Get back in shape. I came up in here on 6th day, and I told her, I said, oh, I got to get back in shape, boy. That's a long walk. But I walked the day like a champ.
All right, now.
Code 10.
Kid it.
Code 10. He keeps blessing me.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to get off the pill. I mean, he keeps on blessing.
Yeah.
I'll support it for 4 days. Yes, I will. What's wrong with you? I lost you a typewriter. I'm trying to put it in a box. You ever seen my little toaster? Oh, y'all have
Yeah, that's
bird?
right.
Huh?
The
Brave little toaster. Okay, man. Okay, spell checker. What dude said on the commercial? Said, what class does your teacher teach? Spelling. He said, isn't that a program? You know what? I ain't the best speller in the world, but I used to be able to spell words. I don't even try to spell it no more. I know the thing gonna come up eventually and stop me from writing whatever I'm writing and say, listen, man, this is how the word's supposed to look.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, y'all all right? Come on, give the Father some praise.
Yes, thank you, Father. Thank you, Father.
When on this 24-day thing, and it works so good, I'm gonna do it again. I'm take up a special offer for the pastor, lose weight for him. Now you can't make no rap song talking about I'm gonna call it a false prophet.
Oh, fine here.
Mirror, mirror. I'm getting mirror, mirror to get it for you.
Reincarnated goats, man. Good for the waistline.
Boy, y'all hear me get what I'm say. Well, I was trying to say, you know, I went on a thing and it worked. And just so much has happened since then, and I want to get back on as soon as the doctor cleared me. I want to make sure he cleared me. But every time it seems like I'm down and out, the Father blesses me. Everything I asked for, he did it. The Father need to get off these painkillers. Yeah, out of nowhere. It didn't ever, just out of nowhere. Wasn't even expecting. I went up in there, that man said, you qualified for this. You got everything wrong with you. Tell him about it. Bobby, tell him I'm here again. I know. Bobby said, can I get a witness? Oh, man, that's it. This is what I want. Announcement. We got announcement. Come on, let's do an announcement.
Okay.
Let one of the young folks start doing it.
I know, right?
That's the mirror right there. I'm on. Nah, don't make big money yet. Tell you no. But they're working hard.
I know, right?
Come on, get Elder hand and she go.
We had a couple things happen this past week. We had a birthday and we had an anniversary. Yeah, so we're gonna have a couple of songs to sing. And coming up this week, we have the Healthy Hair outing this weekend. Sorry. And then we have the Zone coming up. Am I thinking of the right weekend? Yeah. And seniors coming on next week. Wow. So we got a lot of things going on that's happening. I think Minister Warner's up for the Zone. That's right, because you did the movie. That's right, the movie last time for the Zone. So Minister Warner's up for the Zone on this month. Keep your eyes and ears open for additional information for the Healthy Hair outing. It should be exciting. And Commissioner Amira is asking for prayer for something that's coming up for tomorrow. Right? It's tomorrow? All right. So she's asking for prayer for everyone to pray for her. She's saying that something coming up on tomorrow.
Come on, here. Let's lay in favor and reviews. Father, right now, Father, we thank you for favor. We thank you for favor. Glory. Father, we call for your protection. In the name of Yeshua. No weapon formed against you shall be able to prosper. Sometimes they form, but they don't prosper. Right now, in the name of Yeshua, Father, your ordained will be done. Hallelujah. We thank you for it right now, Father. In the name of Yeshua. We give you praise and honor. Hallelujah. In the name of Yeshua. Glory. In Yeshua's name. Somebody give the Father some praise. There's a circle of foolishness too. I know you probably already spotted it, but as I was praying yesterday, I seen a circle of foolishness. And foolishness is contagious. And, Ryan had that song, Hard Times Spread Just Like the Flu, but chaos is spreading as someone keeps coming and depositing chaos in your children and in your home, and it just spread like wildfire. So you need to sanctify your home. Like the man said, clean this house. You need to sanctify your home. And get that anointing on that your angel will be at post and won't allow that to come into that sanctuary. But that's what chaos does, is it causes a lot of jumpiness. I hope you understand what I'm saying. It causes a lot, it's like popcorn, it causes a lot of stuff to happen that shouldn't have to happen. And you got someone that deliberately doing this. You got a couple people, I don't know why you even mess with them, that want you to fail. They want to keep you at a certain level of whatever, just a certain level of certain mindset, so they can manipulate and control your life in every aspect of it, and even live through you in certain areas. And I know you're smart. The problem, you're so smart that you convince yourself that you're not, but you are extremely intelligent. And don't allow them to squash you. But yet don't try to live like the world. Because I was reading this comic book about this character named She-Hulk. And we know She-Hulk, but this was a different She-Hulk. Usually Hulk, the madder they get, the stronger they get. But this She-Hulk, the calmer she got, the more stronger she got. And that's what the more you calm down and stay cool, the more the anointing or the real Amir bursts forth. Remember that. Because that foolishness, that chaotic spirit, it can destroy in a heartbeat. Somebody leave the stove on, check the stove. Somebody left the bathtub running. And just like that, tragedy. Check everything. There's sleepiness thing. In other words, like a trance state in your home that people walk around in and do things without even realizing, without even knowing the seriousness of what is happening. And that's too dangerous with the kids that you have. Check your home, keep it secure. Because you got other lives depending on you. Not just your kids and not just your husband, but you are depending on you. And whenever you think you're being selfish, because you're going to hear that word a lot, whenever you think you're being selfish, just do something for the person who called you that. Because that's how you destroy evil, by doing good. And I ain't talking about being a slave. And I ain't talking about hanging around stupid people. And that way, I know how to feel. I know exactly how to feel. People used to call me lazy, and I'm so far from lazy that they had to give me a new driver's license. So I know how to feel for people to tell you that, hey, you're something that you're not. But when they called me lazy, I just worked harder, and it made me strong. So I understand, and I'm telling you what works. The real way don't work. But doing what Yeshua said works every time. Amen. Somebody give the Father some praise.
Shalom. Amen. Amen. Shalom, Pastor. Shalom. Shalom to you. Tootsie Roll on the road. He's trying to get up here and preach. Bring Tootsie Roll, Brother Jonathan. Bring Tootsie Roll up here. I'm going to see if he's going to sing happy birthday. Let him walk up. Let me see. He ain't gonna come. I know he ain't gonna come. We had a birthday. Let's see, which came first, the chicken or the egg? The birthday or the anniversary?
The chicken came first.
The anniversary came first. Okay, so we're gonna sing happy anniversary first to our pastor and elder Lernell. Ready and go. Happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy, 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 happy anniversary, happy, 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 happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary. Woohoo! And then we have a birthday. Ready? Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, brother Eugene. Legs and tall man, he's so tall he touched the sky. Happy birthday to you. Get some more pie in here. How you say it?
More pie in her.
More pie in there. Yay! Yes, we have some celebrating to do in here. Yay, Ricardo. Amen. So we're going to wrap it up. We had a very powerful day on today. Amen. The Father blessed us with some tremendous word, a lot of tools to take home and a lot of things to practice. Yes. And some things, some instructions to do. So we have some things to do when we go home. Yes. Amen. Amen. So, I'm sorry, I forgot what I was going to say. So, look to your neighbor and say, ye shall know the truth.
Ye shall know the truth.
And the truth shall make you free.
And the
truth shall make you free.
The truth,
The truth,
it is,
it is,
what it is.
what it is.
Shama. Thanks, Pastor. Brother MT, help me, Brother MT, please. Yes, please, Brother MT.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Shazam.
Shazam.
Flame on.
Flame on.
Reboot.
Reboot.
Fanboy.
Fanboy.